That's Tommy Emmanuel from his latest album, Accomplice Two. Tommy's heading over to New Zealand for a solo tour in April. We found the journeyman Australian guitarist in England, having just toured throughout Europe.
Yeah, I'm out near a place called High Wycombe, which is near Marlow. I'm about 10 minutes from Henley, where George Harrison used to live.
Oh, okay.
Where actually Olivia and Danny are still there.
Right.
So, but I'm here in England. I just finished the tour of, we did Vienna, Budapest, and let me see, we went to Croatia, Serbia,
right,
Hungary, and then we went to Denmark, and then back to Poland.
Right.
And I finished in Gdansk last Thursday night was the last show. So yeah, Friday I flew here to England. I have daughters and granddaughters here in England.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
That's what I'm doing.
Little family time. Well, you mentioned George Harrison, and I noticed, I think you were doing quite a few Beatles covers, especially in your show, like in Serbia.
Oh, yeah.
So why was that? What brought that on?
Oh, people love that stuff.
Right.
And I love playing the Beatles. I mean, if you just think about it. You know, just that riff, baby's good to me. Holy hell, you know, it's powerful music.
Yep.
And yeah, so I usually do I do a lot of my own songs, but then the covers that I play, you know, they're carefully chosen.
Gotcha. Carefully chosen. That's cool. And so you're coming to New Zealand in April of next year, which is why I'm speaking now.
Okay.
Have you been thinking about what you're choosing for that few days? I think it's 5 dates throughout the country. Yeah.
Well, the good thing for me is that there's no opening act. I get to play 2 sets.
Right.
So that means that I can think about whatever I want to play. You know, I can start out the night with new stuff that the people haven't heard before.
Yep.
And I can go into some of my older stuff. Or you know, I can do it anyway. I never work to a set list.
Cool.
I always decide what I'm going to start with and just go from there.
Okay, excellent. That's a good way. And is it solo, or you're not with a band, right?
Just solo.
Yeah, well, that makes it easy.
The band's in here.
Gotcha. Yeah, you mentioned the new album. I'm loving what I'm hearing. I love that track you did with the song you did with Molly Tuttle, the Townes Van Zandt.
Oh yeah.
Going out on a highway, gonna listen to them big trucks whine. Going out on a highway, gonna listen to them big trucks whine. That white freight liner's gonna steal away my mind.
Oh yeah, Molly. Well, I met Molly years ago on an Americana cruise, and she came and heard my set and invited me to play in her set the next day. And so I said, what do you want to play? And she said, well, how about White Freightliner? And I said, I never heard it. And she said, it's easy, just follow me. And that's how I learned it.
Just follow me.
Yeah. So the version that you've heard on the album and that you've probably seen in the video,
right?
That was us live in the studio, one take.
Nice.
Yeah.
And did you both know that was the one as soon as you were done?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, most of the things that I record, you know, two takes is a lot for me.
Right.
I can usually get it in the first one.
Yep.
If I'm prepared, you know.
Right.
When I go to the studio to record, I'm prepared. I know what I want to do, and you know, I got new strings on. I got the sound how I like it. I put the headphones on. I'm in heaven.
Right.
You know.
Right. And do you
So-
prepare also by thinking about how you're going to play the song itself, or listening to other versions
Oh,
of
of
it's a
course.
cover or something?
Well, it depends what it is. I mean, the tracks, the Doc Watson stuff that I did with Billy Strings.
Right.
Billy and I both know all those tunes, but we'd never really worked out the arrangement together. So when he arrived, we had to nut out the arrangement. So it wasn't 20 minutes long; it was 4 minutes long, and so we played through each tune, and then I said, how about we start with Doc's guitar, and I'll start it like this, then you come in, you take the bridge, then I'll take it again, then you take the second bridge, then I'll take it. Now we'll go into Black Mountain Rag, and now we'll switch to harmonies, and all that came together in about half an hour. And then we went in and ran through it one time. I had to listen back and said, is it all working? Yeah, okay, yeah. How about trimming that back a little bit, right? Okay, all right, let's go. And then we get it in the next take.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about the album, I love seeing that Jorma Kaukonen is on there playing with you on.
He is. What a great guy.
He's got such a distinctive sound himself. You just know it's him.
I've always loved Jorma's stuff. I always loved his playing and his singing. And I met him a long time ago. He wanted me to come and teach at his camp called Fur Peace Ranch in Ohio. And I came there a couple of times, and we ended up doing some concerts together, and we just hit it off as pals,
Right.
And so he sang this song, Another Man Done a Full Go Around, right? He sang that on the show one night, and I said, is that Reverend Gary Davis? And he said, no, it's Roy Bookbinder.
Right.
And Bookbinder was in the audience that night, and it was classic. And so I said, man, that song is awesome, So we ended up doing it, just the two of us. And I overdubbed the guitar, the drums, and the bass later.
Right.
I made it into a band track myself.
And what did Jorma think of that? Did you kind of give?
He loved it.
Yeah.
Well, Jorma has his own idea of time as well. Like when he's sitting playing and singing, he kind of does what a lot of those old blues guys do. He'll speed up and slow down, or he'll push it to make it feel more exciting. So what I had to do was I had to just let him do what he does.
Sure.
And I played all my parts and solos and stuff. And then I took the track and put it into the computer and held some parts back a little so that I could slowly speed it up without you noticing that it sped up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sounds like fun. Yeah. Well, on the subject, I see Michael McDonald, not exactly known for his blues creds, but here he is playing piano and singing with you.
Your pillar of fire, you warm my soul. You're the place I run when the winds blow cold. The prayer I pray is that you'll never leave. It's because of you that I still believe.
Oh my God, he was so good. He wrote that song during COVID,
right?
And sent it to me, and he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I love this song, and I'd like to do it." And he said, "Okay." And so he sent me the final recording of him singing and playing piano with a little drum machine. right, just to keep time. And I then added real drums and bass and other guitar parts, and then I put backing vocals on, and then I did all the lead parts on my nylon string guitar. I did that last, so I wouldn't get in the road of the vocal and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Michael was pretty happy with it. But by the time the album came out, he was already back on the road with the Doobies.
Of course. Very good. So this is your second volume of duets. Are you thinking about what you're going to do next, or are you? Yeah, I'm
doing. My next album will be a totally solo album.
Right.
Yeah. I got a bunch of new songs, and well, I'm hoping to write more stuff. To be honest, Marty, I'm hanging out to write more stuff. I'm just waiting for something to happen.
I'm sure it will.
Well,
you must see a lot of the world. I mean, you were just in like Poland, and I mean, stuff is going on all over the world and in the States, and so there's plenty to write about, I would think.
Well, you would think so, but it's a funny thing. A songwriter waits patiently for something to happen that causes him to write.
Right.
You know, I've never been the kind of clock on and clock off songwriter. You know, I've never been that. I've written a lot of songs, and I've had periods where I just couldn't stop the flow.
Right.
But I've also had periods where I couldn't write a damn thing, and I just wrote it out. You know, and so I know, talking with Mark Knopfler about it, he's the same. You know, he goes from one thing to the other, and then he may not write something for 3 months, but he doesn't sit around worrying about it.
Yeah, you know? It'll come eventually when the time.
It will.
Just got to keep your
keep the antennas up.
Yeah, exactly. Now I also notice, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but your old band Dragon is doing their 50th anniversary tour in April at the same time that you're doing your tour here.
They are? Oh, I didn't know. How wonderful. I hope Todd's going to be there playing bass.
I'm not sure what the lineup is exactly these days, who's on and who's off, but yeah, it's like, oh, well, there you go, because that was kind of like the last band you were in until when he went solo, right?
Yeah, exactly. What a great band that was. And Mark Hunter, what a singer. Oh my God, he was great. He really was. But and I just was working with Don Perry, the drummer who was in the band when I joined. He's cutting an album with a keyboard guy named Vince DiCola, and they're making, wow, it's really unusual music, and I got to play on some of it recently. Cool. It was just great to hang out with him, and I had just seen Sharon O'Neill and Alan Mansfield the week before, and I spoke to Todd Hunter on the phone about a week before that too. So it felt like we almost all got together except for Mark.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Well, you never know. Your paths may cross in April.
I certainly hope so, because I could use a few bars of April Sun in Cuba.
Yeah, there you go. And did you guys tour with Tina Turner back in the day?
Yeah, in '87.
Man,
we did 36 shows with her all around Europe, and we did 9 nights in Wembley Stadium here in London.
Right.
She was unbelievable, so great.
Yeah.
And the band by the time we finished that tour, we played Hammersmith Odeon,
right?
And it was us and Mental as Anything, and it was a Forex sponsored show, so it was all Aussies and Kiwis,
right? And
man, we were so hot after that tour, you know, to play to a hometown crowd in London. It was phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah, and
very cool. It's very cool getting back to your record. You know, you're playing with these youngsters, Molly and Billy Strings and all that.
Yeah.
As a guitar player, who do you kind of look is kind of an up and coming guitarist to watch? Do you keep an eye out for new talent and
Oh,
things like that?
there's a lot of new talent back home in Australia. There's a lot of new talent in Germany, Italy. There's a couple of great young guys in Serbia.
Really?
Yeah. One of them that plays a lot of my stuff and has a guitar like mine and dresses like me and all that. But there's also a young fella. He's now 19, but I've known him since he was 3. And he's a phenomenal player, and he's from Rijeka in Croatia. His name's Freno, and there's lots of talent. But places like Kentucky and Tennessee in America are full of kids who are playing the hell out of all this stuff.
Man, that's amazing. Very cool. Well, it's good to see the stuff is alive and well, whether it's the blues or folk, or bluegrass or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all happening.
Everything.
Very good. All right.
It is.
We're going to look forward to seeing you when you get here in April.
Thank you, Marty.
In the meantime,
absolutely.
Have a good holiday.
Time, and
say hi to your grandkids and enjoy the family.
Happy Christmas, brother.
You too. Righto. Bye-bye.